Hello traders, welcome to Module 1, Your Career Path. Now, the purpose of this module is for us to align you and your career path with the same career path of the very best traders in the world. Because clearly, if you want to be successful in anything, it's best to have a benchmark, and typically you want to start with looking at what are the best people in any industry doing and how did they get there. Whether you're a business or an individual, naturally you're going to be looking to see what are the most successful people in those industries doing. Now, in terms of trading, we may or may not like to admit it, guys, but the reality is that, of course, institutions are providing and trading in the most amount of flow, volume, transactions. So it stands to reason, right, that the individuals doing that trading on their behalf are clearly going to be the most profitable and successful traders out there in the world. And just to give you an idea from experience of the people around me that I used to work with, typically in year one in an institution, you're going through a recruitment process, you're not going to be earning a lot of money. It might be 20, 30 grand if you're lucky, 40,000, depending on the type of institution. So you're not going to be earning that much. Still a decent wage, but not the sums you hear about on TV. But very quickly, once you've been through the institutional training program, started on a desk, of course there'll be some that don't make it, but the ones that do, very quickly, within, I would say, year 2, year 3, they're earning several hundred thousand. Year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, multiple millions of dollars. So those are the sort of guys we're talking about. Now, clearly, we want to emulate or look at the same training program or recruitment process, not necessarily recruitment, but post-recruitment. So the training exercises that they went through, the tools they were given to help them get to that level of success. And that's why I say recruitment perspective here of the major players. Right, so now you may be saying to me, well, Envy, okay, we agree with you. That makes sense. We want to obviously be trained in the same way as these guys. Let's get on with it. Why do we need to do all this stuff beforehand? Well, you see, guys, it comes down to this myth again, many myths and the like in the retail space. Now, what that myth is that, now, you may have heard it before. I want to be an institutional trader. I want to do institutional type trading. But what exactly is an institution? Which institution? What type of trading? Guys, you've got to realize, and you'll see it on the next slide, there's multiple types of institutions: hedge funds, real money, pension funds, investment banks, proprietary trading houses. So there'll be multiple types of firms, and then there's retail trading, which is you, like the home startup trader, and you want to try and get as close to one of these institutions as possible. So look, at the end of the day, I've spent a lot of time in institutions, but I don't necessarily think that it's imperative that you go and work in an institution. As long as you're getting the right training, it doesn't really make that much difference. So, if you've got, I understand, real world, you've got children, you've got a full-time job, or you've got another career you want to pursue at the same time of trading, fine. But just make sure you're getting the best training. But to do that, guys, you need a game plan. And that's really why this module is absolutely crucial. Now, I'm going to talk a lot on this slide. I get it. People are going to get a little bit bored and think, I just want to get stuck in. I want to get stuck in. But look, that's what you've been doing all this time. And clearly, it's probably not got you to where you want to be. And that's why you're looking at different avenues, such as an institutional type program as this. But the reason for the game plan is, so guys, what typically happens in trading is when you start a course, you get straight into things, don't you? You open up MetaTrader 4, you get shown what the buy and sell buttons are, all of that. That's the execution stage. It's completely crazy, and I'm going to show you why that's crazy. Because understanding the recruitment or the training process that you want to align yourself with is part of the research that every business has to do. I don't just mean in trading. So let's have a look at these examples I just kept ready to save time. personal training, mechanic, hairdresser, lawyer, doctor, could be anything. Obviously, I can't put everything down, but a lot of you guys may decide one day or already be doing this. You want to be a personal trainer. Would you, the equivalent of just going and starting to even demo trade is completely ludicrous. Would you just start executing, say you want to be a personal trainer, would you just turn up at a gym and start charging people to train them? No, it's completely ridiculous. Would you turn up at a car mechanics and start fixing a car? No, you're going to get thrown out because firstly, they're not going to know who you are. But anyway, it's ridiculous without doing a process beforehand of research and understanding your industry. Same as a hairdresser. You're not just going to walk up to someone and start cutting their hair. Come on, guys. Same with being a lawyer. You're not going to turn up at court and just say, okay, I'm prepared to present anyone who's up for it. Clearly, you're going to get laughed out of court, guys. So that all makes sense to you. You wouldn't go straight into the execution phases for any of these roles. So why then, guys? Why are people doing it? They want to be a trader. Why are they just jumping straight in? Why? Makes no sense. That's the reason I've created this module, which I think is absolutely crucial. Like I said, I know you want to get stuck in, but you'll be doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't get this game plan in check. And that's step A, which is this, and this, which is B. So I just want to quickly compare these steps to the typical processes that you would go through in a career or a business. So let's compare the two. If you're a startup business, would you agree that your aims are to make money and to make it consistently over time? Well, guys, what's the difference? If you're going into any of these careers, yeah, I get it, you're passionate about it, etc., etc. But the reality is you've got bills to pay. We live in the real world. Clearly, one of the main driving forces is going to be money. You want to make consistent profit and you want to do it regularly over time. So you see, you and a business are the same. Now, my point is, if you were to start a business tomorrow selling shoes, selling products, TVs, whatever, you wouldn't just sell it straight away. You'd research your market, etc. So why are people not doing the same when it comes to trading? If you wouldn't just go out there and start selling TVs randomly, why are you just going and getting onto execution, even if that means demo? Why are people doing that straight away? So what are these processes that you need to do beforehand? What sort of game plan? Well, let's have a look, guys. If you're a personal trainer, what sort of research would you be doing before you got into the execution stage? Well, clearly you're going to look at in the market, okay, what type of clientele do I want? Do I want to go after the male market? Do I want to go after the female market? Do I want to go after weight loss? Do I want to go after muscle training? Do I need any nutritional certifications which are going to allow me to make more money? Would you agree you're going to do all of that before you even start looking at execution? A mechanic, you're going to think about, if you look at that program Pimp My Ride, right, there's 6 or 7 guys doing different things, guys. So you've got to figure out, do I want to be in vinyl? Do I want to do paint jobs? Do I want to be in audio? Do I want to fix mechanical parts of the vehicle? These are all technical and skills that need to be learnt and decided upon before you just start executing. Same with hairdressing, same with a lawyer, figuring out if you want to be in corporate law, family law, etc., etc. Same with the doctor, obviously, what type. So all of these are going to have different types, and your training is going to be slightly different for each, right? As we just discussed. Now, in trading, people just say, oh yeah, I want to be a trader and I want to be like an institutional trader. Well, hang on, guys. Just like all these fields have different types, there's different types of traders, and each one's training process, as I say before earlier, major players, is going to be different. So we need to do the research beforehand, just like we're going to do for all of those. And then the second part is tools. So once we've aligned you to the right type of trader, right institution, and get you started on the right processes that they are following, we're then going to start looking at tools, guys. So that's futures versus standard Forex. Now I say Forex, but also includes stocks, commodities. So typically you're going to be using MT4, MetaTrader, and similar platforms. Nothing wrong with them, but the reality is institutions, take it from me having worked in an institution using all these platforms, don't use those platforms. That doesn't mean platforms like MT4 are bad, because you've seen I've produced publicly fully audited statements of my FX book, my foreign exchange trading, and I've used MetaTrader 4 and generated huge returns using that. So actually there's nothing wrong with it. It's not that. It's what you're missing here is the tools. Is, have you done a deep dive research process before you even get into the execution of, okay, what are the institutions using? If they're not using MetaTrader 4 or whatever the different retail platforms are, and how do they differ? Can I access that data and continue to use MetaTrader 4 and get the best of both worlds? What's the advantages and disadvantages? The price that I see coming through MetaTrader 4, bid, ask, what is that? Where's that coming from? Right, guys? Those are the tools. You need to know that before you execute. Of course you do. It's like a personal trainer. If you just start personal training, so you've done part A, you figured out what you want to do, you've got some clients. Let's say you start training from home because you can't afford the rates at the gym, you're just starting out. They turn up, you say, right, we're going to train in the back garden, backyard. Guys, you're just going to pick up a branch of a tree and ask them to lift it up and down? No, of course not. It's ridiculous. You're going to look at the tools. You're going to look at, is it best to use dumbbells, kettlebells? What's the best types out there in the market? What's the advantages, disadvantages, right? You're not just going to go and execute. Same for a mechanic. You're going to look at the tools. You're not going to just start fixing an engine with your finger, guys. It's just ludicrous. You're going to try and understand the different tools out there, advantages, disadvantages, which ones to use. Same for hairdressing, same as a lawyer, same as a doctor. You're going to figure out the best tools for the job. But you're probably thinking, hang on, MV, this is obvious. Of course I'm going to do that. Okay, so if it's that obvious, why are people not doing this first before they jump straight into the execution phase? They don't have a game plan. They're not doing the research, guys. This is the whole point of this module, and why I want you to bear with me, even though I'm talking a lot on one slide. It's really going to set you up nicely for the rest of your career. Would you agree that many of you that have done courses before, you've done the course, you got stuck in straight away like they told you to. 6 months later, you turn around and think, oh, I've just wasted 6 months of my life. People are doing that for years. Why? No game plan, guys. Do not have a game plan. You must have a game plan before you start getting into this phase. So that's what this is all about, and we're going to get you there. Then we're going to conclude and put you in the right bucket, institutional bucket. So like I said here, there's going to be 4 or 5 of them. We're going to get you from where you're at right now as closely aligned to one of these. You can still trade from home, you can still learn everything. We're going to show you everything you need. We're going to bring the institution to you, but which one? So that's the key. And then finally, just a quick word at the end of the chapter on raw data, guys. So you'll have a chart, price goes up, wish it just went up all the time. Obviously it goes up, down, sideways, etc., etc. Now the reality is, we've all agreed, right? We want to trade and emulate the training that the best guys are getting out there. Well, guys, you might be shocked to hear this, but when you go and work in an institution, you're typically not even going to be allowed to look at charts for 6-7 months. I had to stand and stare, or sit and stare at a quote board streaming for good several months before, and prove profitability on that before I could even look at charts. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily need to do that, but at least understand that. What is the raw data? A chart is similar to the surgery's office at a doctor, the court at a law firm, for a lawyer, sorry, the car mechanic shop, the gym. That's the chart. But would you agree, guys? Say as a personal trainer, you're not just going to turn up, meet your client there and say, right, let's get cracking. Of course not. You're going to have your iPad, you'll have prepared a program, you'll have done hours of work beforehand, going through the nutritional programs for them. The majority of the work is done beforehand. So we got to understand, guys, the chart is only 10%. It is the gym, the court place, You know, as a lawyer, you're not just going to turn up in court and say, right, I'm ready. Of course not. Guys, you're going to have done hours of research beforehand. That is what the quote board is, guys. You're missing 90% if you're not looking at it. It's basically a stream of bids and offers, prices, similar to what you see on your retail trading platform. But the thing you're missing, so let's say you've got the bid and it's offer, but they call it the ask, I think, on retail platforms, which is fine, same thing. You don't see the depth, guys, and you don't see the executions. So, for example, we're going to get into this in a lot of detail, but just to give you a quick sneak preview, let's say you're trading euro dollar, you decide to buy it. What you don't see is, or you decide to buy, or other people are buying it, you don't see what size that they're buying in. Now, if someone decides to buy 50 and clears out the full depth of what's on offer, and then the next price comes down, it's going to make the price tick up. If someone comes in and sells 100 and clears out the bid side, it's going to make the price tick down. Someone sells another 100, it's going to make, clears out the bid side, it's going to make the price tick down, and so on and so forth. So every tick up, tick down is being driven by what's on the quote board, guys. Nothing to do with technical indicators, and I'm going to show you this in real life, in real action. And I'm even going to show you how you can get access to it. So it's really exciting. So we'll just start that. And then obviously after that, we'll move on to module 2, where we'll really start getting into some of the nitty gritty. So all the best with the module. Hope you enjoy it. Stick around. Let's get a game plan done together. Make sure you're right in the right bucket. I'll see you on the next slide.